Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here, and it's Wednesday again. Sorry, we keep doing these early instead of Thursdays, but I keep flying on Thursdays. I've had a whole bunch of trips backed up, week after week after week, and I have to fly on Thursdays. Tomorrow, I'm flying out tomorrow morning out to Nashville, Tennessee, to speak at Lipscomb University on animation and do a little digital painting workshop, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to get to go out and see my old friend Tom Bancroft, who teaches out there, one of the great animators. If you guys don't know him, look him up. He's supervising animator of Mushu from the Mulan. He's one of the Simba animators on Lion King, and so it's going to be a nice reunion. I'm also going to get to see my friend Tim Hodge, who's one of the best story artists I know. So it's going to be a nice little reunion for us. But today I just thought I'd, it was kind of sketchy whether or not I was going to do the live stream today because I got so much to do. But you know what? I just wanted to sit down and do a little bit of painting with you guys and just have some fun. So yesterday, you can see this image right here that I created. This is what I did. First of all, are we on, Dustin?
Yes, we are.
All right. So I've got my trusty Dusty Dustin over here.
Hi.
My son Dustin. So he's going to be fielding the questions today. And my business partner, Nick Birch, is still on vacation in Hawaii. He's on the island of Kauai, and he's having a ball. So anyway, so he's out doing that. So we're kind of taking the reins and doing the live stream from our end. And we'll do the best we can. Usually it takes a couple people to get all the links and everything out to you guys, but we'll see what we can do today. But I wanted to talk to you about these images that I did. This is one that I did yesterday for the Facebook Live. And I've just been on this primate kick. And so we had a lot of fun doing this orangutan character yesterday. Actually, I really enjoyed doing that. And today I thought I'd do something still in the primate realm. I've got this idea that's been percolating in my head for a long time about the flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz. I've got this story idea. And so I just thought it might be kind of fun to do a flying monkey. And I wanted to get at least of a sketch down to start with. And I started sketching here, wasn't crazy about it. This is one that I really scribbled out. And I'm looking at chimpanzees as the model for the apes, they're apes, not monkeys, but I know I'm pushing it there. But it just I wanted something a little bit more intimate. I wanted something a little more dramatic. And so I steered away from that, and I sketched this in right here. And you can see the initial sketch was a little bit more, the really rough version. He's a bit more frail, a bit more less robust, I should say. And so what I tried to do in the tie down, you can see in the lower jaw, I wanted to give him a little bit more robustness. I wanted him to have a little muscle. In my mind, the flying monkeys in the Wizard of Oz, they're doing the witch's bidding. They're the thugs. And in the movie, they're kind of small and petite, but I think they should be bigger and stronger and more massive and big wings, and they're the thugs. And so that's what I wanted to do here. So I've got this guy looking kind of tough. And like I said, it's just a really rough, scribbly sketch that I did in about 5 minutes that I wanted to start with. And then I thought we could tie it down, or I could tie it down, and we could go from there. And I've also pulled up some reference here, some stills from the movie, from The Wizard of Oz. A couple of stills just to look at the costuming. And here's another one, looking at the costuming. God, that makeup. When I was a kid, I was so freaked out by the flying monkeys. I don't know how you guys were, but they really freaked me out.
I got a question here.
Sure.
Have you ever worked with 2D rigs, and what are your thoughts on them?
2D rigs. I have not worked with 2D rigs, so I don't have any thoughts on them. It's just something I don't have any experience with. I was looking at this guy here. Look at the face on this guy. Oh my gosh, it's just, it's crazy. I mean, it's like right out of, Planet of the Apes. It's just that's an amazing shot. So these are some shots that I pulled up to kind of inspire me for this guy here. What else you got, Dustin?
Have you ever drawn any fantasy creatures like griffins and manticores?
I have a little bit in the past. It's not something I do a lot of, but maybe that would be fun to do on a future stream. I think. What do you think, Dustin?
I think that would be a cool idea.
So I'm going to go ahead and tie this down a little bit more. So what I've done is I knocked that opacity back. I like keeping some of that line work, that scribbly line work underneath. This one here, I'll ditch a little bit of that. Because I want to keep that robust brow. Or
Have you ever thought
jaw.
about making... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Have you ever thought about making a tutorial for canines, like wolves, dogs, etc.?
I have thought about that. As a matter of fact, when I get back from Tennessee on this next trip, I'm going to be starting my next How to Draw Animal series is going to be on wolves, coyotes, and foxes. And I'll be starting that, but I won't be finishing it in time. I have to go, at the beginning of March, I have to go to China for a month. I'll be gone until March 27th. And then when I get back, there we go. I want him to kind of snorting. When I get back, I'm going to be going back into that full time. I'm taking a little break from Snow Bear so that we can get another tutorial out. I'm going to push his snarl just a little bit too, like his little. And I want his lips to be. I don't want him to be pushed out. I want him to be kind of bulging, like so. And I want that expression to be really simple. So, if you want your expression to read, this is angry, right? That's angry. That's happy. If you can get your expressions to be that simple, then they read easier. And so that's what I do here. Even though there's a lot going on in the face, if you look at that brow, it's down and down. Very simple. I'm going to push some of that there. I hear Dustin typing. Are you typing for someone there?
Yeah, someone asked a question towards me, so I figured I could type that one out. But what are you thinking about animation French touch?
French touch. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna make that eye a little less droopy.
And actually, do you mind if I answer the question related towards me, or
What was the question?
the question was I ever popular in school because of your dad, because of your job?
All right, go ahead.
No, I was not. I never really put myself out there because of that. But do you, Dad, have the Animator survival kit? Or do you know the Animator survival
I
kit?
know of it. I don't have it. No. No.
What brand of watercolor do you use?
I use Winsor Newton exclusively.
Do you think it's worth doing complex pieces that take a lot of time if you don't have the basics down well?
Well, no. I mean, you can take as much time as you want, as long as you're remembering the basics. It's all. It's not a big deal.
Is there any film you're looking forward to?
Shoot. Let me see. Is there any film I'm looking forward to? That's a great question. All right, I want to make sure I get these cheekbones in here. What's coming out? Oh, the big Avengers movie. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
There's that, Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther. I like that.
There's Solo.
Solo looked great. I was really.
Mission Impossible 6.
I don't like that.
Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I mean it's.
There's a whole lot out there.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit tired of the Marvel films. Not because I think they're bad. I'm just getting over it a little bit. Although I love them, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm ready for something different. But I'm liking that, especially in Netflix. I'm seeing a lot more sci-fi, which is really my genre. I love sci-fi, and I'm liking that I'm seeing a lot more of that.
Actually, speaking of that, as a personal question, what do you think of the Cloverfield paradox.
You know, I saw Cloverfield Paradox last night, and there is some really fun elements to it. Some of it didn't make a lot of sense to me, but I thought there was some fun in it. You know, I'm kind of in the minority. I think I really liked the original Cloverfield movie. I don't know how most people felt. I think there was a lot of people that didn't like it. I could be wrong. And I thought this was an interesting take on how the Cloverfield monster came to be.
What online animation school can you recommend? Do you have some friends there as a mentor?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any friends that are mentors specifically right now. But you know, Schoolism is great. Animation Mentor is it Animation Mentor? Yeah,
I
yeah,
think so. Or
yeah.
teacher, mentor.
No, I think it's Animation Mentor. Has always been great. Um, uh, and Creature Art Teacher is awesome. Although we don't do one-on-one, but we will eventually. I promise, we will eventually.
In the future, can you draw a scary character?
Sure. Yeah, I could do scary in the future.
Or we could do that for like a Halloween special.
Yeah, there you go.
Um,
I love how big the ears are on chimps.
what exactly is the Animator survival kit?
It's a book, if I remember right. Right? It's just the book of with the principles of animation in it.
Gotcha. Did you know Glenn Keane is working on a new film?
I do. He's directing it.
Ooh,
Yep, he's directing it for Netflix too.
really?
Yeah.
Is he animating any of it?
I don't know if he's going to be animating. I know he's directing, which probably means he won't animate. Although I'm sure he'll want to get at least one or two little bits in there. I tried to animate a couple shots when I was directing.
Looking forward to see what he brings to Netflix.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I know it's
But
going to be
have you-
fantastic.
And like, do you know what it's about or anything?
Yeah, it's. I don't have the
Hush,
title in
hush.
front of me. Something of the Moon. There's he's done a promo photo and he's posing with the drawing that he had done.
Have you watched The Greatest Showman? If you have, what are your thoughts?
You know, I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it because I love, believe it or not, I really like musicals. And I love Hugh Jackman.
Whenever you
I'm
go,
Yeah.
please take me along because I've been wanting to see that one too.
Yeah, and I've got it on DVD because I'm a member of the Academy.
Oh, that's right.
So
Wait, you have
I
it?
get the movies. Yeah, I've got it. It's actually, I think it's in here. I think I've got it here. It's in my pile of junk.
You put The Greatest Showman
There's
in a
Wonder.
pile of junk. Which one was Wonder again?
The kid that's malformed and he goes to school.
Oh, that's right. Looking forward to Incredibles 2?
Oh, of course. Yes, I'm very much looking forward to Incredibles 2. You know, I can't. It's in this pile of junk somewhere. Sorry. Don't know where it is right now. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get the drawing down. I like to, you know, rough it in like so, get it nice and rough. And then I start, you know, when I'm working rough, I get those shapes working right. Try to get the proportions right. And then once I get that working right, then I go in and hit my details. And that's what I'm doing now.
If you had to express yourself as an animated character, what or who would it be?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. As an animated character, who would I be? Or what? What do you think, Dustin?
I'm drawing a blank.
You. Let's see, who would I be? I really relate to bears and lions. Maybe I'd be
What's the name of Robin
Simba.
Hood's partner in the
Little John?
Little John?
I'm Little John. That's
Little John the
exactly
bear.
it. Yeah.
Little John the bear.
Yeah, I am Little John. I
You
like
even
to
sound
party.
a little bit like him too.
I do. Or
Or Baloo.
Baloo. I was
from
gonna say. I was
Jungle
just
Book.
gonna say Baloo. I'd say more like Baloo, actually. Yeah, just
Ain't no
taking things
bare
in stride.
necessity.
Yeah, I just take everything in stride. So I want to get this design right on his hat. Just gonna rough it in.
Do you guys know the online community Hyun's Dojo? It's mostly stick figure animation, but they have really nice community collaborations from time to time.
No, I don't. I'll check it out. Thanks.
It's spelled Hyun Dojo. Hyun
Cool.
Dojo.
I will check it out. But yeah, going back to the schools, schoolism is really great. Go check that out because it's great teachers there and good friends of mine. I'd like to promote them. So here, even though I want to do a winged monkey, I want the detail and all the attention to be up towards that face. And so I'm going to suggest that wing, but the wing is really there. It's meant to kind of funnel your eye up towards the top.
Do you do or still do storyboards? I was barely taught the fundamentals in my school. How do I learn to make better storyboards by myself?
Funny you should say that. Funny you should ask that. I still storyboard, yes. Not as often as I used to. But we just finished up shooting a storyboard course that we're going to be releasing on our website that is being taught by probably one of the greatest story artists I know. His name is Lyndon Ruddy. Look him up. He's got a website, and he works for Blue Sky right now. And he's an amazing storyboard artist and teacher. And we worked together when we were at Digital Domain when I was directing The Legend of Tembo. And I really loved his work. And so we've stayed friends over the years. And I wanted him to, we started talking about, I started thinking about doing a storyboard course. And I feel adept at storyboarding, but I don't know that I could teach it as well as if like I'm teaching animation or painting and that sort of thing. But I knew Lyndon would be the guy to do it. So we approached Lyndon, and he agreed to do it with us. And so he has put together the storyboard course, and we just shot it up in Connecticut, where he is living, and we'll have that out in the next month or so.
Any tips of drawing eagles? Thank you.
Any tips on drawing eagles? Yes. First of all, you got to really study that anatomy. But understanding that eagle anatomy, one of the biggest things that people forget or don't understand, I'm going to turn this off real quick. So we're looking at an eagle. If we get rid of the feathers, an eagle looks something like this without the feathers. Okay. And one of the things that people, let me blow this up. They don't understand what's happening with the back legs. Eagles have legs just like us, it's just that they're proportioned differently. So you have a thigh. So the thigh comes down like so. Here's the pelvis, just like we would have. The femur comes off. There's a knee that comes down. There's your calf muscle, just like that. And they have an ankle. That ankle is right there, which then goes down into their feet. Okay? And then their other leg comes down like that. So there's actually a leg there. And so when they spring off, let's say, they can, if this guy were to spring off to fly, those legs, those back legs can actually come way back and stretch out like so as they fly away. Oh, by the way, I just want to let you guys know, because I just heard a car door outside, I might have I'm waiting on a building inspection. I'm building a bar in my backyard. And today was the only day I could get it inspected, so we just kind of took a gamble. He was supposed to do it this morning, and he didn't show up, so he might show up while I'm talking to you guys. But so there's those back legs. And so then if I knock this way back, if we put feathers on this guy, what you end up with is a bird that looks like here. There's the tail feathers. The wing feathers come back like this. And this is all feathers. This gets all bunched up. And then there's your feet coming down like so. Alright, so there's your eagle with the feathers on it. Okay, so understand what's going on under those feathers. That's the biggest thing, especially with those legs. People don't understand what's going on. But there's a thigh right there, a knee, ankle, like that. And then that'll really help you. And then when you're thinking about the wings are like hands. You know, the bird has a shoulder, which is here. His elbow is back here. His wrist is here, and he's got everything tucked up like that. And so when they stretch their wings out, let's say, like I said, here's the shoulder, elbow, wrist, and then they've got it down to a couple of fingers that come off. Or you can imagine that being our hand right there. And so when that gets stretched out, here's the shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers, and it stretches out like that. That's where your feathers come off. Like that. And there's your bird wing. Okay? So there's your quick eagle bird anatomy lesson. Back to the normal show here.
I'm sure we'll have a more detailed lesson course in the future.
Yes, I'm going to be doing a how to draw birds course as well.
Yeah. And that will be probably after the canine?
Yes,
project?
I'm doing the canines next.
Yeah. Canines next, eagles after that.
Yeah. Okay, so let me look around here. The monkey's faces are blue too. I wonder if I should keep his face blue. That could be kind of cool with the gray hair. I'm gonna try that.
Probably make this guy like a more grown-up version of the.
Like he's got real
Oz.
ape features, but I'm gonna stick with the colors of Wizard of Oz and let's just see what it looks like. Let's just try it. So I'm gonna go in with that local color. What I'm doing is I'm creating a layer underneath my drawing layer, and I'm gonna throw in that local color. I'm gonna knock this back a little further.
What are the most important things to include when pitching an animated film or TV show?
Theme. What is this story about? A bird.
What's it all about?
Theme is the most important, in my opinion. Theme is the most important. What is that story about? Because when you can nail your theme, it'll help your writing. Think of it like you open up your back door to the outside, and the whole world out there are all the possibilities of your story. But when you create your theme, that creates your fence. Now you know the world. You know the area to tell your story in. When you don't have that theme, the stories tend to wander all over the place, and so that really helps. And then fighting for number two, and I think I can go back and forth between what's more important, theme or character. I think one informs the other, and oftentimes your main character is the anti. At least in the beginning of the story, is the anti-reflection of your theme. If you're whatever the theme might be, let's say it's you need to learn to be yourself. That's the thematic. So you might have a character in the beginning that's trying to be something he's not, and that's what's happening in his life. And he's trying hard to be something he's not, and it's not until the end of the movie where he stands up and he's proud of who he is that he wins the day. There's your thematic, and that's how it manifests itself into your character and in the story. So those are the types of things that I think about when I'm thinking about story and story construction. Character and thematic, those are the most important.
I still have trouble understanding local color. How do you understand?
Local color is simple. Local color is just the color of an object when it's not in light and it's not in dark. Let me do something real quick because I just drew a local color layer. I'm going to put I'll explain in just a second here. Let me put that there and there. Whoops, doggone it. There we go. Layer, merge layers. Okay, now I'm going to put another layer here. This is local color. Let's say our ape right now, I want him to have a blue face like in The Wizard of Oz. Blue-gray. So that's what I'm going to make on his face right now. Whoa, not that big.
What do you think of Stanley Kubrick's movies?
I think they're slow sometimes, but I really like his work. But really quick, before we go back to Stanley Kubrick, I want to finish the local color question. So here's what I'm doing. I'm painting in his face because this is the blue that his face basically is. Now let's make some variations in there because it doesn't necessarily have to be just blue. There's going to be some variations. Let's say around the eyes, I want to go a little darker with it. Now I'm not painting shadow. I'm painting the actual local color. Let's say around his nose, I want it to be a bit more purple. Like it's a little reddish. Like there's some blood coming to the surface. And there, maybe in here. So this is all still local color. So think of local color as the color of an object when it's not in light and not in shadow. Light will cause it to be brighter. Shadow will cause it to be darker. But the local color is the color of an object. I've got a gray shirt on. That's the local color of my shirt. There. I think I've explained it to death, but I apologize.
In high school, were you good at art? Sorry if it's a personal question.
That's not personal. Yeah, I mean, I was probably like most kids in high school. I was better than, that where they discover that that's what they want to be. I was better than most probably. I went some red up in those ears too, purple. Yeah, I mean, I was better than most kids at art when I was in school, but I was a far cry from what I'm doing now. And so there was a lot to learn. So I've been, and I still learn. A lot of people, one of the things I can't stand are people that come up and, no, I shouldn't say I can't stand it because they mean well, but when people that come up and say, oh, you're so talented, I wish I could do that. Well, the only way I'm able to do this is because I do it every day. I don't walk up to a basketball player and go, oh man, I wish I could do that. Well, I know if I, spent, years working at it that I might be, well, I'm short, so there's that against me. but other than that, but the point I'm trying to make is that it takes practice. And you might start off with a little, a small amount of ability, but practice trumps that way every time. I've seen people that have ability that don't push themselves, and people that have less ability that really apply themselves, and the person that applies themselves in practices always comes out on top. So that's kind of an interesting. I think that's kind of an interesting look. And that's going to blend in. It's going to blend.
How to do good compositions? Any materials that you can indicate?
Well, composition is a squirrely subject because, I mean, there's methods that like one of the most basic methods is the 1/3 method. The 1/3 method is basically this: if you take and create a grid, if you break it up into thirds, if you break your composition up into thirds, like I'm doing here, like this, and like this, areas of interest on these cross points or horizon lines on these cross points, or using those thirds, putting areas of interest on those thirds in different places, that tends to give you a better composition. That's a place to start. But basically, my thinking is, let me get rid of this. If it looks good, it is good. And it's kind of funny if you look at this, like this wing is kind of falling on the bottom third. The eye, where I want you to be looking, is on the right third. things just kind of automatically fall into those thirds when you get something comfortable. That's just how it tends to work out.
Did you feel pain in your back whenever you're animating? When you're seated for hours? Did you take breaks when you were at Disney?
I did. Oh yeah, we always took breaks. And they provided us. They actually provided us with masseuses, especially when we hit our overtime hours. Um, we were getting massaged. So
I remember getting that at my job.
yeah, so they are very good about that because there are work related injuries related that are just related to sitting there for a long time.
Number one is carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel. I haven't had that yet.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Uh,
But I don't do a lot of this kind of drawing, which is going to cause a lot more of the carpal tunnel. I tend to draw more from the shoulder, so I don't move my wrist a lot, and I think that's why I haven't had any issues. That's my assumption anyway. What color is the strap? Well, let's just I'll go with blue.
what do you think of the movie Coco based on the story?
You know what? I'm really ashamed I haven't seen Coco yet. I know.
Me, don't worry, me. I haven't seen it either.
I'm really ashamed. I haven't gotten out to see it, and
Yeah, we haven't had a movie night in a long time.
I know Dustin and I we used to do guys movie night all the time, but we haven't. I've been traveling so much. I'm going to cut back on that travel quite a bit, and we're going to do more movie nights. But I haven't seen Coco, so sorry.
What are the best programs to use for animating?
I use TV Paint. This is TV Paint right here. Boom. So here's TV Paint. This is the animation test that I've been working on. This is just the pencil test part. I've got everything else turned off. What I love about TV Paint is that if you're looking to do hand-drawn animation like in the old days on paper, where you're looking to draw and flip paper and, like I said, just do it old school, then TV Paint is the way to go. I love it. It's all I've used. I know there's Toon Boom out there, which is a little bit more vector-based. And I haven't used it. I started with TV Paint. I like the brushes that they have. This brush right here is just their 2B pencil, which it looks great. It looks like a regular pencil test. It looks like my pencil test when I worked on paper. So it's called TV Paint. Check it out. It's a little bit expensive, but I think it's worth it. Quite frankly, and I love it.
Is your color layer at 100% opacity?
Yes, my color layer is at 100% opacity right now. I'm shooting for red. I want some red in there. I'm going really pure with the red too.
Why didn't you work on Tarzan?
Why didn't I work on Tarzan? Because I was developing Brother Bear at the time. I was directing Brother Bear and developing it. I was writing the story when they were making Tarzan.
I found a character design from Brother Bear on a character named Rogue.
Yeah.
Would you explain a little bit about that character?
Yeah, Rogue was one of the. That's like way back. Actually, that's the version I was working on during Tarzan. Rogue was this character. Man, that was a story. Man, that was an old story. But Rogue was this villain bear at the salmon run that he was the bad guy. I can't even remember how the story went back then. That was 1997, so that's 21 years ago. I can't remember the story at that point. It changed. One of the things about when we write, our stories change a lot, and they'll change. They evolve. They evolve from day to day. And back then his name was Rogue, and that was a temporary name, by the way. I know that's a really crappy name, but we called him that just to make things clear that he was the bad guy. And so that's who he was back then.
Sorry, I just got in here. How long did that animation take you to create on TV Paint?
Oh, that's about a week and a half's worth of animation.
Have you ever tried using gel pens on black paper to make art?
Yes. Well, on gray paper.
I tried it as something new recently, using only a gold and black. Sorry, just skip a gold and black pen, and I'm getting really interesting results. Any thoughts?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me do this. Say that again, Dustin. So here's one where I'm using gel pen. On my sketchbook, I use a gray paper, and then I use the white gel pen as accents. So I have three values. I have gray, black, and white. I'm sorry, Dustin. I cut you off. Did you lose the question?
No, it's just the same question just continued.
Okay. So what is it again?
I tried it as something new recently. Oh, don't forget
I got to go back to already rolling, right?
Yep.
Boom.
There you go. Just make sure everything.
Yes.
Just checking to make sure the bandwidth is still stable up there.
Okay. So here I'm just putting in a little bit of yellow.
But continuing the question of about the gel pens, I tried it as something new recently, using only a gold and black pen, and I'm getting really interesting results. Any thoughts on that?
No,
On the gel pen.
I have no thoughts on that because I haven't done that. But what I have compliments on that and encouragement because, if you're experimenting, you're learning. So that's awesome. Get in there and throw that ink around and see what you get because that's how you discover new mediums. I wasn't using the white gel pens up until maybe 3 years ago, and I discovered the tone paper and those pens, and now I don't draw without them. So you'll make discoveries. That's cool.
Seeing as you did Beauty and the Beast, why don't you draw Ron Perlman's version of the Beast from the TV series?
Ugh. I don't like it. I like Ron Perlman. I like Ron Perlman a lot, but I liked the Beast from Beauty and the Beast better. Just it felt more animalistic. Ron Perlman's felt a little too humanoid because it's makeup on a human, I guess.
Mm.
So I'm just going to throw a little yellow on here.
What advice do you have to a colorblind painter?
You know what? Have fun with it. If it looks good to you, then that's fine. Don't worry about it. My brother is colorblind, and he's an artist. Sometimes his trees turn out to be bright red when he's trying to make them green. And you know what? It's okay. I went to college with a guy that was colorblind, and he really he was very influenced by Van Gogh and the purity of his colors. I'm not sure if the person asking me is colorblind. A lot of times, colorblind people can at least see the pure version of the color that they're usually colorblind to. So, try experimenting with pure color and see what you get. You might end up with some really beautiful results.
How do you define distance only with dashes?
How do you define distance with dashes? I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're asking. How do I define distance with dashes? I'm sorry. I'm going to pull ignorance on this one. I'm not sure what you're saying. I apologize.
Lord, I apologize for that there. And David starving pygmies in the guinea, Amy. Any tip to choose the right colors?
I think about when I'm picking colors, I think about color harmony. But other times, maybe you don't want the color harmony, and you want colors that vibrate. As in this case, I've got bright red. I'm using three primary colors: blue, yellow, and red. I mean, they bounce off each other. But when I get into the facial features and the fur, I want color that's going to harmonize. So I'm keeping everything in the cool range. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking the warm wings though. I'm going to go to a cool gray. So one thing I'm going to do is I can't do that. I'm just going to redo it. Let's see here.
When will you be able to make a live stream on traditional media? Shall we expect it soon or later?
Later. You, oh, shoot. Sorry, I'm going to go a little grayer. I'm going to do it. we don't have a setup yet where we can do it efficiently, where I can just sit down and start drawing and painting traditionally, and we can broadcast it. But we're working on it, and it'll happen soon. I hope.
Are any of your Mulan sketches for sales?
No, unfortunately, they're not. Um, yeah, sorry, they're not. Those are pretty dear to me, so I'll be keeping those and passing those on to my kids. Yeah, I'll stick with the cool. I like having everything cool with the big shocks of red and yellow in there. Whoops. Where's my history? There it is.
Are you using a dual brush?
No, I'm just using a straight brush right now. Just a regular paintbrush. I'm jumping around between my custom brush. Between custom brushes. All of my brushes are custom. Here, I'm just trying to make it look like he's got like a little pattern where his wings come out of his jacket.
Any advice on medieval city design or any artists you recommend?
I don't have any artists that I recommend. I don't know enough about medieval city design to do that. But research, and which is obviously what you're doing. But my biggest pet peeve are when students want to do something, they want to create something, and they don't do enough research. You got to do the research. That's what you got to do. I'm going to get in here and erase some of this back.
What do you think of Alexander Petrov's animations and his oil painting on glass technique?
I've When I first saw it, I was blown away. I want to do it. I don't even know how to begin to do it. But I just think it's unbelievably beautiful.
Would you be interested in doing critiques in the future?
I would be interested. We just don't have the ability to do it right now, and so I'm not doing it. But hopefully in the near future we'll be able to. It's we have a lot. We literally get thousands of requests for that, and I just don't have the ability. But we might do something to where we do, if people don't mind, having their stuff critiqued in front of, 3,000 other people online, we might be able to do that. And I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good practice. First of all, I'm not mean in my critiques, although I'm honest. And I think it'd be it's a good exercise for that person being critiqued, and it's a good exercise for people seeing the critique to see other mistakes and other places to improve, and places that people are successful as well. So real quick, before we go any further, I'm going to create a shadow layer. So I'm creating a new layer on top, and I'm going to set it to multiply. And I'm going to go find a nice cool color. So I'm going to get into my blues, blue gray, a little higher than mid-tone, and get in here, and I'm going to start defining my shadows. And I want that light to be coming down and casting a shadow right across his brow.
What do you think is the most difficult to animate?
Oops. What is the most difficult to animate? I don't know. You know what? All animation is difficult, first of all. It's anyone that tells you that they've got an easy scene, or if you say you have an easy scene, you're going to curse yourself, because usually what I always say, there's everything's hard. There's just some scenes that are less hard. But I find in animation, I find everything, it's kind of a struggle to find it. Only because I want to create something that feels real. And even if it's pushed, caricatured design, I want it to feel real in the sense that it's believable.
The brush that you're using now is not existing in your brush sets. Can you show that brush preset?
The brush I'm using now is in my uh, brush sets. It is. Let me show you. Let's jump over to, because I don't have Nick today, so we're going to jump over to Creature Art Teacher. Let's go to Let's see. Where are they? Brushes, brush and texture sets. I want to show you this one while I got you here, because I get that question more often than not, more often than any other. It's this set right here, my very first set, brush set number 1, and it's the 7th brush in there. So if I click on it, there we go. And let's go to where the image is. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's this one right there. Number 7. I use this brush all the time. So there it is. That's the one. Brush samples.
Pretty much your go-to brush.
That's my go-to brush.
Can you do a moon background for the flying monkey?
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Like night lit?
Ooh, whoever came up with that idea is awesome. I've got an idea, because we can go kind of orangey, silvery with it. And I want to try something. I got an idea.
When you're animating, do you usually take breaks? So is it every certain hours or minutes?
I just take a break when I feel like I need it. I want it to go off camera or off frame. Break the border. Let's see here. I kind of like it breaking the border.
Have you seen The Tale of Princess Kaguya?
I have not seen The Tale of Princess Kaguya. See, what I like about this is we can do some backlighting on them. We can make it dark and do some backlighting on them, which can be kind of interesting. I'm still gonna do the shadows. I'm still gonna do the shadows like I'm doing. I'm gonna imagine there's a secondary light source. First of all, I want to do this.
Do you think that it...
Oops.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Dustin.
Do you think that it is necessary to go to design school like Cal Arts or Ringling to get a job at a major studio? The cost is obscene.
It is obscene. I agree with you. It is obscene. That's a personal. I can't answer that for you, unfortunately. Sometimes students need college. Sometimes people don't. Is it impossible to get the skills you need to work at a major studio without going to college? No, it's not impossible to do that. It's very possible to do that. But like I said, some people need it in the sense that, I think I needed it. When I went to college, I was around like-minded people where I saw how people drew, painted, all of that, and it helped me grow that much faster than if I was on my own. You get exposed to other ways of doing things, and you get influenced, and it's a great way to learn.
By the way, the person that asked about the brushes before, he wasn't talking about that brush, but the brush that.
You're talking 91. About that one.
91.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I don't have that one.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I don't have that one.
No, that's actually a brush that was given to me by a friend, and I can open up the presets for you so you can see it. That's the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. It's a dual brush, so you're gonna need. That's one of the problems with it. It's a brush that has a texture to it that I don't even know where the dual brush is on this one. And there's some transfer setups on it. The shape dynamics are pretty straightforward. It's got smoothing. Whoops. And it's the biggest part of it is that it's a dual brush, and I'm not sure where the other brush is. But it's a brush that a friend of mine gave me, and so I can't really sell it on with my stuff. But what I will do, because I really love this brush and I want to create some variations, I'm gonna create a few versions of my own, and I'll put those on my site.
Do you have any tips animating a fighting scene or a very intense scene?
Uh, yeah, I do. The biggest one would be looking at live action reference. I know some people don't want to do that, but that's how you learn. Disney, Walt Disney, and the animators, they did it all the time. Uh, there we go. I'm gonna get that shadow of that the shoulder sleeve coming over. But look at live action reference. That's going to be your biggest uh, way of learning.
When getting frustrated about a detail during practice, is it better to take a break or keep going?
No, well, the biggest thing to remember is that if it's a detail, you're probably sweating something that shouldn't be sweated. Try to back away from it and look at the big picture. Especially when it's a detail. Because a lot of the times the details are just that. They're details that you don't really need to worry about.
Yeah, if you keep going at it, you're just gonna get more and more frustrated, which will cloud your judgment, and so you just gotta step aside for a minute, just cool off, clear your head, and so that way you can see the detail better when you come back to it.
I'm adding a new layer, a new multiply layer, and I want to try doing the rim lighting very roughly. Just see what this is going to look like.
Have you ever tried glow in the dark ink?
I have not. I've never tried glow in the dark ink. So what I'm doing is I'm setting this to multiply, and I want to let that moonlight kind of rim light the character a little bit. But I still want to get modeling within the shadow, so that's why I went ahead and added light and shadow underneath. There we go.
When will the preview of the storyboard course come out?
We're gonna have the preview. I have to go up to Connecticut and shoot one more day. We got one more day's worth of shooting, and I'll be doing that. We'll be doing that soon, and then once we have that, then we'll get the preview out. I'm gonna do this, and let's go ahead. Go kind of dark with it. Let's just see what we have here.
Have you ever seen Disney's Jungle Book before?
The live action or well, I've seen everything that Disney's done with Jungle Book, if that's what you're asking. Yes. I'm going to go a little warmer, a little lighter. There we go. I want that moonlight to kind of radiate out. And I'm going to go a little warmer, a little lighter.
How do you guys create the tutorial videos? What's the process like?
Well, I sit down. If it's me, Dustin and I will sit down, and I plan out what I'm gonna talk about for a few weeks ahead of time, and then I sit down, and sometimes I have to re-educate myself, like sometimes with the animal tutorials, because I'm not drawing them every day. I need to go back and re-study again, and in those cases, I spend a little bit of time doing that, and then we sit down and we start shooting, and I do everything. I don't script anything. I kind of do it off the cuff. I know basically what I'm going to be talking about, but beyond that, I just kind of dive in the way that I'm doing it now. That's how I feel most comfortable doing that. Let's go back in here. There we go. Just get a little bit of light coming off of this guy. This moon.
That moon.
The moon.
And then once you're done with the video,
That's when I'm done with the video. Then Dustin gets it, and he starts to edit. and he starts cutting everything together. And so that's pretty much our process.
I think I started doing that back when it was the Bears. I think was the Bears my first one?
Yeah, the Bears was your first one. So I'm gonna blur that background. I'm gonna knock that. Was that locked? Let me rasterize that. Where are we? Rasterize vector mask. I don't want that to be a mask. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. There we go.
So I came in a bit late. Could you suggest a good economic coloring medium besides pencil to use on paper for people without access to a digital tablet?
Say that again.
Could you suggest a good economic coloring medium besides pencil to use on paper for people without access to a digital tablet?
Yeah, paint. Am I getting a besides pencil? Paint.
Yeah.
If you want to paint, you can use acrylic. You can use watercolor. You can use oil. I'm not quite sure what your question, if that's what you're asking, but paint. That's what we've used for thousands of years, man. There we go. Got a little bit of blur back there. I like the idea of the moon. I'm also going to do this. Let's do this. I'm going to do that blur, but now I want to do a radial blur. Let's just experiment with some of our blurs. Let's do a radial blur, and that center should be up here, and I want it to be a zoom, not a spin, and we're going to push it to about 45. There we go. Let's hit OK, and let's see what that does. Boom, there we go. That's a nice, much nicer kind of gradient coming off the moon. There. That feels good. So yeah, so now we've still got the modeling, but we've got some nice rim light happening. Now what I want to do is I'm going to create a layer on top. Whoops, on top of that shadow, and I'm going to set it to overlay. And I'm going to grab a nice bright color somewhere in there, and I'm going to grab my sketching brush, and we're going to go in and really kind of define that overlay, or define the rim light, I should say, not the overlay.
We have some folks in here recommending putting a black castle on the side of out in the distance.
I don't want to do that. I mean, I like the idea. I like the suggestion, but I want to keep. I don't want to get too cramped.
Do you have bloopers of your courses? That would be fun.
Do we? My bloopers are all foul-mouthed. I'm swearing all over the place. I don't think
there would be a lot of beeps going on.
There'd be a lot of beeps going on. Yes.
And what is my job? I'm the cameraman, video editor, stream broadcast tech, and question relayer.
He is the question relayer for me, so I can draw and not have to look at the screen looking at questions. So that helps a lot.
And I guess you could say I'm also a Photoshop brush engineer.
Yeah, so Dustin also helps make brushes for me. So I taught Dustin how to make brushes, and so I'll give him suggestions on what to make, and he'll make them, and then I'll approve them or mess with them a little bit more, and we make brushes together.
Are any of mine currently on the market, or are
yeah.
they? Are they?
Well, they're mixed with ones that I went over.
Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, and also, as of a few months ago, I guess you could say I'm also a drone cinematographer too.
Yeah.
In the mix.
Yeah, he does all of our drone work.
Any tips on drawing an octopus?
Nope. I don't have tips because I don't. I'd have to sit down and draw one to figure that one out. That's a good question. So when I'm struggling right now with the rim lighting because I've got that dark pencil line or the dark holding line. So I'm going to draw over that in order to get the line work I'm looking for. So I'm going to create another layer on top. I'm going to go a little darker.
Somebody said, forget art tips. Give us some tips on how to be as cool as you.
So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to go a little brighter.
Well,
I don't want to go. See, I don't want it to be brighter than the moon. The moon should be the brightest light source. This is where I struggle sometimes. I want it to come in here. I might push the brightness of the moon.
Will you ever draw a fairy or a fantasy world?
Oh yeah, I've got a lot of designs that I've done in that world, so we'll do that one of these times for sure.
What type of painting style do you use when presenting a character proposal to a director for an animated feature?
Digital. We do everything digitally. Everything is done digital.
Have you ever tried blah, blah, blah. Have you ever tried color dodge instead of overlay?
Yes, and I will do that next. Right now, I want to hit the base. That was a good question because I do color dodge. I want to get some nice details in here.
What are your views on tattoos, on tattooing?
To me, it needs to be sacred. I have. Let's see. I want to show you this one. This one's very. This was very dear to me. This is one right here. This is a portrait of my wife, Karen, who she passed away 10 years ago from breast cancer. Her favorite artist was Alphonse Mucha, so I did it in the style of Alphonse Mucha, and she had dreads. So I drew her dreads. And then the very last thing she said to me, or she said to all of us, was, "Keep on living, I love you all." And so I made that part of the tattoo. And this is done from a photo I took of her when she was first diagnosed with cancer. And then after she passed away, we took some of her ashes and we mixed her ashes with the ink, and so she's in there. And so as far as how do I feel about tattoos, if you have a strong enough reason to get it, then I think you should get it. For me personally, tattoos need to be it's a sacred thing, and it's not something to be taken wisely. So for me, it's a powerful thing to think about.
And the artist that
Yes, yeah, the artist that did
Zulu.
it, yeah, is his name is Zulu. That's what he goes by for his tattooing. He's based in Austin, Texas now. He was based in Los Angeles when we had it done.
And I absolutely love the story of him and I when we all went to his place so he could do the
Hmm.
tattoo on your shoulder, and it turned out that he and I had a very similar tattoo in the same spot.
Yeah, that was really cool. So here I'm pushing that rim light on his face a little bit, and I'm going to let some of that drawing show through. In other places, I'm going to maybe erase it back, like maybe in here I'll erase it back just a touch. There we go. Huh. I want to experiment for a second. Decisions. I want to see what it looks like if I go brighter than what the moon is, which is theoretically you shouldn't do, but I'm going to try it anyway and just see what it looks like.
Are you excited for the new Wacom table?
You're talking about the big 32-inch? If you're talking about the 32-inch Cintiq, yes, I'm actually getting one. I'm very excited about it. Actually, I'm going to try something different here. Sorry, I'm getting in my experimental mode. I need to think here for a second.
Oh, Dad, you forgot to
Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. Where am I? Already rolling. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Forgot to switch
I was
back.
so focused on the comments here that I didn't even notice that. Sorry, my bad.
Idiot.
Gosh. How much you went back and throw those over that mountain?
Okay, so I want to see. Let's try. Let's We've got this set to normal. Let's go ahead and try it as a color dodge and see what it looks like. That goes a little bright. But see, this is what I was wondering if it would look, how it would look in front of that moon. It's technically not quite right, but I kind of like going brighter. I like it. I like the feel of that rim lighting. So I'm going to do this. Rather than setting that to color dodge, I'm going to set it to normal, but I'm going to go up into the image adjustments, and I'm going to go to hue and saturation, and I'm going to push the saturation, and I'm going to push the lightness and push it more, push the saturation, push the lightness.
So how big is the screen resolution?
My image is it is 12 by 16 inches at 300 dpi.
And how large is the monitor screen itself, in case that they're asking for that?
It's a 27-inch monitor,
4K?
and it's 4K, which is really cool.
Hey, nice. What kind of animal would you like to be?
What kind of animal would I like to be?
I can see as a bear.
I would like to be. Yeah, I don't know. A dolphin. I don't know. Dolphin.
Dolphin.
Dolphin. Don't. Don't.
I'm not.
Don't.
I'm not. Just give a little tease.
Don't.
Just a little tease. Is there any culture that you like and love drawing from?
You know what? I love no, there's no specific culture. I really love going out, as many of you probably know, getting out and experiencing in my travels other cultures. I love meeting people. I love people. And so I just love getting out and experiencing that. For me, I tend to like experiencing more primitive cultures, especially primitive cultures that have held on throughout the years. That to me is fascinating. That they've been able to hold on to their, and I say primitive only in the sense of, let me put this up here. I'm not saying that right, because a primitive culture is not necessarily primitive, but not modern. I should say that, not modern Western. Let's say that. Okay, so more traditional cultures. That's what I'm really drawn to, and here we go.
When you're creating a story, do you prefer to write it first or to draw it already directly on storyboards like Miyazaki does?
No, I can't do that. I have depending on the complexity of the story, but I have to write it first. I have to get it in my head before I can start storyboarding it. Now, that's not to say I don't make discoveries along the way as I'm storyboarding. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to balance out the light, some of the reflected light, and the rim lighting that I just created.
What will you do with your current Cintiq when you get the 32-inch one?
This one, it'll probably go to Dustin. We're going to start donating as well. We want to start, donating equipment and to folks. So we're going to start looking at ways we can do that as well.
Are you aware of the role model artists on YouTube?
I'm not. Please explain. So here I'm just defining some of some of the textures on his face. I'm gonna
Will
do
there
this.
be dolphin stuff coming out? Dustin says, give him a little tease. No, it's just a joke. Not going to say it, though.
No.
Do we still have to do rough drawing while we do normal drawing?
Do we still have to do rough drawing while we do normal drawing?
Like, I think it's like to get like a rough start of the drawing and then refine it later, I think.
Personally, I always need to rough out first. I think that's what you're asking. And then I start breaking up. I always go from the broad, meaning the rough, to the detailed, which is what I'm trying to do here. I'm breaking it down into detail right now.
Have you ever watched any sort of anime?
Yeah, I'm a big Miyazaki fan. I don't watch a lot of anime. To be honest with you, I haven't been watching a lot of animation, period. Whether it's Western or Asian or any of it. I've been focused a lot on my own work, but I do see some anime here and there, and I like it.
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
I love anime. I love it, love it, love it. Any book recommendations for perspective?
No, I don't have any. I don't know. That's a tough one. And actually, I should do I might do a live stream on perspective at some point. I'll definitely do a course on it. I started learning perspective when I was 8 years old, and it was something I pursued quite a bit, especially my high school years and my college years, as far as learning, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, animating perspective to scale, all of that. And I like teaching it. I like the mathematics of it.
Will you ever let Dustin sit
No,
on the throne and draw for us?
Sure, if he wants to.
I think I would be scared to sit in front of 490 people.
Is that what we got right now?
Yep.
490?
490. Never really sat in front of so many people at once, so I'll kind of be a little nervous. That's why I sit in the sidelines.
So here I'm trying to strike that balance, trying to find my darks and this, my live streams, these are like quick sketches that I do for you guys, but I wanted to show you how quickly you can, if you think about your warms and cools and values, how you can get an effective illustration relatively quickly. I can definitely go in and refine these, for hours and hours, which is what, I normally do. But I want you to see how much fun you can have, just kind of off the cuff, kind of rough, and just keeping value and temperature in mind.
Any tips on writing characters and plot? I'm working on a comic/manga called Red Wolf. It's about wolves.
Yeah, keep your characters honest. Make up characters that that, even if they're animals, make up characters that and, base them on people, experiences, that you've dealt with. Make them real. That's the best way to do it. Every character I've ever written is somebody I've known.
Will this live stream be replayable?
Yes, it will be replayable. It'll be up later this afternoon.
Is it current? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it just needs to buffer. Once we're done, it'll need to buffer for a little bit, then it'll be up.
Is there a discount coupon for your brushes at the moment?
Not at the moment, but right now they're only $5. But if you want to wait, we usually have a sale. We're going to be having a sale. We've been in business for 4 years, and we'll be having a sale next week. So if you want to wait till then, I'll give you a heads up and say, hey, I'm giving you a little heads up that we'll be doing one next week.
What do you think is the perfect meal for an animator?
What? The perfect meal?
The perfect meal. I'll start first. Pizza.
Sushi.
Sushi.
That's what all the animators I ever hung out with, we always went out for sushi or pizza and beer.
Just basically anything to fill the belly.
Perfect animator's meal. Never gotten that question. It's pretty funny.
It's a unique question.
It is. I like it.
What's your favorite music instrument?
I love guitar, but I like a lot of different instruments. I love percussion as well. But I'm just having some fun here, man. I'm having fun with this guy. I'm getting a little too textury with him. Might pull back on it a little bit.
Could you possibly do a live stream on animating on paper?
Yes, I've had that question many times actually, and we will. I just need to figure out a good method to where we can have a good camera setup. I don't have a good camera setup yet for our traditional stuff, but I will. I promise. I promise. I promise.
When will you do another gouache painting?
Oh, yeah. Once again, it's. I wish we had like 30-hour days. Just a little bit more time in the day because I just don't have enough time. Well, I'll be doing more. It's just between all the different requests and everything, I just have a hard time getting it all done.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
My favorite dinosaur. What's my favorite dinosaur? It's gotta be like T-Rex and all the typical. I think it's not something I think about a lot.
My personal favorite was the Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
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 With the giant fin sails and the spiky tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here I'm creating that rim lighting. Once again, that person that gave me the idea to put the moon back there. Thank you.
Yeah, it's looking nice.
It's coming along. I like that rim lighting.
Any tips for thumbnails? What is a good amount of time to rough out ideas before going into the final?
There is no set amount of time. It's whatever time it takes. There's a scene in Beauty and the Beast that I animated where the Beast and Belle are fighting. That hurt! And they're in front of the fireplace. She's trying to bandage him, and they're going back and forth. I spent 3 full weeks alone just thumbnailing that shot, that scene, one shot. It's just whatever it takes to do it.
You have a large bookshelf. If you had to pick one book right now, what would it be?
I do have a large bookshelf. Man, that's a good question. This is only about 1/8 of my books.
Really?
Yeah. Most of my books are in boxes right now. I don't know. That's a tough one. I've got some really cool ones. There's one that I've always loved. I'm looking for with my Bill Berry book. It's one that not many people know about. Where is it? Which one are you looking at?
The
Illusion of Life?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm looking for my Bill Berry. Oh, this one. This is one that I never get tired of looking at. And if you can find it, I think it's out of print. If you can find it, let me go back.
Don't forget to switch back.
I know. So here's the book, William D. Berry. And because I love field sketches so much. And this is a book of all of his field sketches. And so what I want to show you is, I don't know if I can do this very well, but it's the drawings, his field sketches are so incredibly well observed. he was a master at field work, and it didn't matter what the animal was. He nailed it. And he spent years and years in Alaska, which was, just my dream. And it didn't matter what it was. Sometimes it was plants. He got the shapes of those trees perfectly, those spruce trees. And, sometimes he'd find a dead bird on the ground and he'd do, little sketches. But the book is full of nothing but his, let me do it this way, nothing but his sketches. That's all it is. There's some color plates in here, which I find beautiful. This is a beautiful little painting right here. That's probably one of my favorite books. It's not well known. He wasn't a well-known artist. He's well known in the area up in Alaska. Bill Berry or William Berry. And I've had this book for 25 years, and I still go back through it, and my jaw just drops. This is, for those of you that look at my field sketches, my drawings at the zoo and drawings out on location, this is where I got my inspiration from. Look at these beautiful landscapes. How simple they are, and how beautifully applied they are. He was a master. Poor guy, he was walking down the street, the story I heard was he walked into a bar in Fairbanks, Alaska, and tried to break up a fight or something like that, and a guy stabbed him and killed him. It's a pretty sad story. He created some incredible art. And that's 2 years. That's only 2 years of sketches. 1954 to 1956.
Already running?
And thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's one of my favorite books.
What was your reaction on the direct-to-video sequel of Brother Bear 2?
I have never seen it. So there's my reaction. I've never seen it, so.
Do you sometimes try something completely out of your comfort zone art-wise?
I do. Not often, because I'm often having to get a job done. There we go. I'm not going to do a lot of detail on these wings. We're going to run out of time here. We've been at it for 1 hour and 23 minutes.
Yep, it's 2:23 right now. Are you excited for Jurassic World 2, Fallen Kingdom?
Yes. That I am. Yes. I think that'll be cool.
It's going to be epic.
So, let's see here. Let's get in here and let's have a little bit of fun.
What's your favorite type of music?
I love all kinds of music. When I'm drawing and painting, I like kind of very chill club, kind of chill out music. But I also there's a lot of artists I like. It's hard to say. I mean, I like tons of music.
Could an artist get this good without art school?
Sure. I mean, I don't know how good. I mean, I'm still learning every day. So, it's however you define good. I don't know that I would define myself as good, but I would definitely define myself as someone that's, I've got some experience. And it just takes time. Did I just hear someone knocking at the door?
I heard steps.
1 second. Sorry, guys. That might be my inspector.
Uno momento, por favor.
Sorry, I gotta flush a toilet. Tell them what's going on.
What? What's my favorite anime? My favorite anime is Cowboy Bebop.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm at the mercy of everything that's going on today. My sewer line is broken outside on the side of my house, and so they're fixing that today. And so they just needed me to do some flushing of toilets, which is always nice. I'm sharing everything with you guys. There we go. I'm darkening up a couple of areas. There we go. Just want to push things a little bit here. There. I'm going to push some of these values together a little bit as well.
What is your favorite Disney song?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. My favorite Disney song. Wow. Let's see. Oh, Dumbo's, the mother song, Dumbo's song. With his mother.
What you're talking about.
Baby Be Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. So here I'm going to push some of the darks, some of these areas, to get other areas to pop a little bit more. Pushing my value range.
If you could have worked on any non-Disney animated movie, which one would it be?
Iron Giant, without a doubt.
I keep forgetting that one wasn't Disney.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't Disney. Iron Giant, without a doubt. I wish I could have worked on that film.
That was such a great movie.
Oh man.
I think my favorite bit has to be the
Oh, sorry, I'm getting called again.
when in the pond.
Hold on. Keep talking. Yo.
I guess I'm taking over for a minute while he's off. So, but yeah, I'm really into anime and manga, and also I love video games. I've been lately in a PC game called Crossout. It's kind of a post-apocalyptic build 'em up game where you build up your own machines and you take them out into a player versus player battles. Um, but yeah, and he's back.
Sorry, I'm sorry, you guys. They keep having me run different parts. They don't seem to care that I'm talking to a bunch of folks online. Alright, I'm going to go more detailed now. I'll start pulling this together. I'm going to start finishing this up. I'm going to hit some final details. Whoops, I forgot I'm still on the... Okay, here we go.
So it says, "Baby Mine" from Dumbo makes me cry.
Oh yeah. Who said that? You?
No, someone by the name of Peter Bernot.
Oh yeah.
Bernot.
Absolutely, Peter. I agree. I think it's such a sad, beautiful song.
My personal favorite, not because it was in your movie. It's from Brother Bear, the Transformation song.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely love that song.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
Because I love the power behind it.
Yeah. Well, it was fun to write it. I'll be part of writing it. I didn't write it, but
Who's your favorite animation director?
my favorite animation director. Yep. Oh boy, I'm getting annoyed now. Yo.
And Holden, hence I've ever played Kingdom Hearts. I have not. I've heard a lot of great things about it, and I've seen the gameplay, and it looks great. But it's just not my. I just figure it's not my cup of tea. But it looks great. It looks cool, and definitely looking forward to hearing my friends' reaction to our Kingdom Hearts fans for the next Kingdom Hearts that's coming out. So we'll see how that goes. And he's back.
I'm just gonna tell them to start coming and doing it themselves.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Sorry, guys.
I think we're starting to come into that.
Oh, it's annoying.
That moment of going back and forth. Uh-oh.
It's my dragon breath.
Maybe I should leave the room. Yeah, we kind of have the Aaron Blaise levels of anger. and that right there is the dragon's breath. And that usually means take a few steps back. What do you think about 3D animation?
I love it. I love 3D animation. Good 3D animation. There's plenty of bad 3D animation out there. But to me, 3D is it's the next bit of the evolution in the way we create visual storytelling and art, visual artistry, and I think it's awesome.
In terms of enhancing your drawing / painting skills, which is better, quantity or quality?
That's a great question. Whoever asked that is a great question. You will get quality when you do quantity. That's how I'm going to answer it.
That was asked by Bully the Bull.
Bully the Bull.
Bully the Bull.
Yeah, no, that's a great question because, you will get quality when you do quantity. Now you have to be pushing yourself to learn as you're doing your quality, or quantity, I should say. There we go. It's kind of fun. All right. Open this. Can you get this one, Dustin?
Huh?
Yeah. You get this
just,
one. They're calling me again. Yeah, hold on.
Can we bring him in, or
No, just put it down. You can go take care of it. Go see what he asks.
okay?
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna keep working here. I'm gonna let Dustin take care of this one. So I can't see your questions right now. But when he gets back, sorry, I wasn't expecting them to keep coming in and asking questions of me. There we go.
Wants me to flush the second floor toilet. I get the dirty job.
There we go. So what I'm doing here is I just want to get some more pure color in here. Just to spice it up a bit. Yeah, you guys are getting you're getting an inside view on everything. There we go. Thank you, Dustin.
Here, welcome. I'm always happy to be the designated toilet flusher.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add I'm going to add some more darks down here. I'm just going to, because we're running out of time, I'm going to let this come into darkness down below. Darkness. Let it be going in the darkness.
Some tips on visualization skills.
Visualization skills. Tips on visualization skills.
Maybe like seeing details or...
One of the things I do when I'm sketching from life is, especially with an animal that's moving around a lot, is I'll look at it and look away and it leaves a flash image in my brain. That helps. Let me do this. I'm going to darken this up.
How do you think Disney is doing based on choices and story?
I think Disney is doing great. You can't argue with the last few movies they've done. Um, they're. I think they're doing well. I'm not sure. Um, yeah, I mean, there's going to be hits and misses here and there, but that's pretty much how it is with any film company. And trust me, I'm not, defending Disney in any way. But I know Disney's process, and I think they're doing some great films, personally.
About the quantity, how do you learn from quantity? Because I feel like I'm not progressing.
Well, no, that's the thing. You're going to have to force yourself to, learn. You're going to have to force yourself to break habits. But think of quantity in the same way that, you know, a football player is out there running drills all the time, day in and day out, or basketball or baseball or whatever it might be. You run those drills in order to get better when you're out on the field. And it's the same thing with art. And you got to, you've whether it's sketching, whatever it might be, you've got to keep running those drills to get better at it.
Why did you choose to draw a flying monkey?
Because I didn't know what to draw today, and I've got this idea. I've got this idea for a story that I want to tell with the flying monkeys and the Wizard of Oz, and so I thought, hey, let's do a flying monkey today.
How would you go?
That was the only reason.
How would you go about doing the wing if you're going to do it in a detailed way?
Well, you have to, first of all, you got to understand the mechanics of the bird wing and the way the feathers lay. Feathers lay overlap in this very specific way. I'm doing it very much in a shorthand right now, but you have to understand the mechanics of a bird's wing in order to portray it the right way, and the anatomy. But that, once you understand that, then you can go in and you can have some fun with it.
To be honest, I don't know why, but that hat and that vest kind of reminds me of Abu.
Oh, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's see the vests up here that they're wearing?
Yeah. I very much have that vibe. um,
I'm going to try putting in another layer of dark. I'm going to start pushing that more.
so he wrote, if I'm feeling stuck, I always make myself laugh. I just drew a bowl cut haircut on a wolf because I needed a good snicker.
That's awesome.
Do you think it is possible to become good at drawing if you did not start as a kid?
Of course. I know a lot of people that have learned how to draw that didn't start as kids.
Do you know the movie 2D of Grave of the Fireflies?
No, I don't.
Grave of the Fireflies. I think that was an old Japanese animated film.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, set in World War II, if I remember correctly, and I never actually seen it, but I've seen like bits and pieces of it, and I've heard the stories, and it is sad.
Oh really?
It is sad. But what do you think about painting in grayscale first?
I've done it, and if that's something that you want to do, then try it. A lot of people do that, and I think that's a perfectly viable way of painting. Absolutely.
Should a beginner always use a reference for drawing?
Depends on what you're drawing. If you're trying to draw something accurately that exists in the world already, and you don't have it all baked into your head, then yeah, you should use that reference. Don't be a crutch. Don't let it be. How do I say it? Don't be a slave to your reference. I'm always a big advocate of not being a slave to your reference.
What period of your life would you say your animation skills increased the most, and and did it coincide with the period where you spent the most amount of time animating?
Yeah, you know what? Yes, and it's funny because I think my skills increased a little bit when I left animation for a little while and then came back. I animated a little differently, and I animated a little more freely. I matured as an artist. Um, yeah, so it's interesting. Um, yeah, that's a good question. But they I was going to hit a couple little details in here. Whoa, whoa,
Whoa.
whoa! Hey, sorry. Hey,
Alert! Alert! Achilles! Achilles! You okay? You okay, buddy? You good? Yeah, you're okay. Everything's okay. Just relax. They're just working on piping, that's all. Aloha, Nick Birch, and he's currently talking with the plumber guys at the moment, and that howl that was our dog Keely's just he freaked out a little bit over something, I don't know what, but everything's fine. But Azaz and Zad, so Jesse Olson, and I'm looking down because I'm actually looking at your guys' comments and chat. How old am I? I am currently 27. I'm turning 28 this year.
oh my gosh!
Welcome
I've never
back.
been interrupted so many times. It's done now. I promise. There's no more interruptions. They're
You
leaving.
sure?
I promise. That's embarrassing.
What was Achilles freaking out about?
There was just our guy was standing out in the back door.
Oh. Uh, no, I have not played Cuphead, but I want to though. And how do you stop copying the reference and start to stylize?
You know that comes with time. You'll just start doing it with time. It took me a while because I was a slave to my reference for a long time. And you'll just one day you'll start experimenting a little bit more and a little bit more, and next thing you know, your reference is just a tool, and that's how it is for me now.
Yeah, Grave of the Fireflies is from Ghibli Studios, and people are saying it's extremely sad.
Uh,
And a lot of people are asking to see Achilles, to see the dog.
oh, hey, Achilles,
Achilles!
come here, come here, come on, come up, come here. Oh,
Up he goes.
there he is. That's Achilles. He's my buddy. You can put it on the. There we go. This is Achilles. Say hi, Achilles. Say hi. There he is. He's my little watchdog. He's my buddy. Yeah, he's a good boy. All right, so we're gonna put him down. He's our guard dog. He takes care of the house for me. I have got to finish this up. I'm sitting here. We're barely doing any any drawing. Man,
He's just back
this has
and
been the
forth, back
weirdest.
and
This has
forth.
been the weirdest live stream I've ever done. All right, I'm just going to add some more details over the dark.
Sometime, can you do the Shere Khan from 1967 animated version?
Sure. Not tonight, not today, but I will. Just getting a few more details in here, just lightly.
Should we expect the live streams on Wednesdays now?
No, I'm going to try to keep them on Thursdays. It's just that I couldn't, up until after I get my travel done in China. When that's all done, then we're going to go back to a normal schedule.
Have you ever painted Achilles?
I have not, and I plan on it. I definitely plan on it.
Do you ever get impatient with the sketching / drawing stage and start painting before the drawing is solid? And how do you check your drawing?
You know what? I don't check my drawing. I just roll with it. I love drawing, so I don't get impatient with it. I love the drawing stage. Just hitting a couple of details in here.
By the way, Nick Birch is watching.
Birch!
Birch! Come and be up, Nick.
So, my toilet's fixed, so there's that. So that's good.
When your kids were smaller, did you want them to get into art?
No. I beat them and kept them in the closet.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, I never pushed art on them. I wanted them to do whatever they wanted to do, and they weren't really interested in art. It was something that Dad did, you know.
I mean, I did get into quite a bit of drawing here and there, mainly drawing like typical like robots and spaceships and all that stuff.
It wasn't enough.
At least it was something.
Oh, so I watched this movie. I watched this movie last night. It was called The Ritual, and it's a British film shot in Sweden, I think. These guys. It's a horror film, but these guys go out camping and they're pursued by this spirit animal thing. And the only reason I'm bringing it up, it's some of the coolest creature design I've ever seen. It's extremely unique. So if you have a chance to see this film, it's a bit graphic. It's a good film. I thought it was pretty good, but the creature design was super unique. I thought it was really cool.
If you want to see a really good movie for the acting and story, I would say Only the Brave.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever watched Inception?
Yes. I like Inception.
What do you think of abstract art?
The same way I think of a lot of other art. There's good versions of it and there's bad versions of it. You know, I like doing abstract art, you know, when I'm not feeling like I'm in a representational mood. I like doing abstract art.
Would you ever work on another movie again?
Absolutely. I'm never saying no to I've just turned down movies in the last 6 years because I haven't had a movie that has been a strong enough draw for me to walk away from what I'm doing now, because I love what I'm doing now. There we go. Get a little reflected light on that chin strap. We've been at this for almost 2 hours.
Almost.
I'm going to go a little warmer on that, a little brighter.
I showed you the trailer and clips of the Cuphead game, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yes, you did. Do you need a degree to work in illustration?
An illustration?
Yeah.
No, you don't need a degree to do anything art related, as far as I know. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have a degree to work at Disney. You don't have to have a degree to... Yeah. It helps to have a degree. It certainly helps.
How do you deal with anger?
I take it out on my kids.
Yeah, he throws us out the window a couple times.
How do I deal with anger? I take a few breaths. Let's see. I'm trying to find. I want to get rid of this. I didn't label my layers. That's a big number. Big no-no. Arg! I'm getting angry.
If
I
Glenn
gotta deal with
Keane,
my anger.
if Glenn Keane called you to come and work on
Yes.
his new movie, would you do it?
Yes.
In a heartbeat, huh?
I wouldn't even think about it. Wouldn't even think about it.
Did you ever play sports when you were younger?
Yes, I wrestled a bit, and I did a lot of individual sports. I liked doing those, and I was very much into bodybuilding and that sort of thing when I was younger. You wouldn't know it now, but I was.
What is your favorite ape? Your favorite species of ape?
Bonobos.
Bonobos?
Yeah. They have all their differences with sex. They really do. It's pretty funny. They just love each other and they make everything better. All right, I think, and that's truth. That's truth, by the way.
Is it too late to learn to draw at the age of 29?
No, you're still a pup. Come on, what are you talking about? Oh, let's save this, seeing as we haven't saved it yet.
I have a blank page in front of me. What should I draw?
I don't know. Let's have some fun with this. I'm gonna. Man, this is so getting so disturbed so many times. This drawing didn't come out that great. It's a little funky, but it's all right. We had some fun. I'm gonna flatten it.
What can you consider your comfort zone?
Doing this kind of stuff. This is my comfort zone, for sure.
During the Super Bowl, who were you rooting for?
The Eagles. I always root for the underdog. I'm not a football fan though. I couldn't care two bits about football, but I like to root for the underdog always. All right, let's do that. Bring the opacity down to 8%. We're going to color dodge it. I grabbed a nice hot color. And watch, I'm going to get in here and we're going to burn this baby right in and really rim light it.
Looking forward to King Kong versus Godzilla in 2020?
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool.
I love Godzilla.
Godzilla.
I remember watching those movies over and over again.
So I'm just going to get it really hot so we can get some nice rim lighting there.
Do you miss the animation style of old Disney movies compared to the modern day CGI style Disney movies?
Yes. Very much.
Do you like the Marvel movies?
I like them. I'm getting a little burned out on them right now, but I like them.
When did you get serious about art?
When I was about 14. That's when I got serious about it. That's when I realized, I mean, I always wanted to make a career out of it ever since I was a very little kid. I'm just going to really just burn all this out. Let it really burn out. Something interesting about that. Might be a little too much.
In the future, would you draw King Kong and Godzilla?
Oh, that'd be fun. I could do that. That's a little better. Let me turn that back up. I burned it out a little too much. But that's kind of fun. Let me take these and I'm going to merge them. Now I want to come in here with my smudge tool and I want to get some of these hair textures. And knock back the amount.
Does having lots of pets help with art? Some kind of basic animal reference in a way?
Sometimes it does. Yeah, sure. For me, it's more about companionship. I don't like that.
Is there a reason you don't seem to watch much Japanese animated movies or shows?
No, I'm just no. There's no reason. I'm just not into it as much. I don't like that. I got to start over again. Sorry, guys.
Have you seen the new trailer for Sony's Spider-Man animated feature in 3D?
No, I haven't. That sounds cool. Have you seen it, Dustin?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. I can show it to you after this. It's set in I guess in the future, and there's actually multiple different people as Spider-Man now. They're like their own Spider-Man styles,
Spider Team.
Spider teams.
That's cool. Okay, let's try this again. Let me grab my smudge tool.
Did you like Zootopia?
I love Zootopia. That's one I wish I could have worked on. I'm just going to leave it at that. Just a few touches here and there. I really like Zootopia a lot. I'm a big fan of Byron Howard, who is one of the directors of Zootopia. We worked together at Disney, and he's just a really great guy. I'm really glad he got all the success that he did from that film. I'm going in and just softening some of these edges.
I think one of my favorite little bits of detail in Zootopia was the when the mother and father are showing like all the different things in the anti-fox bag, and he pulls out the taser and turns it on. The look on his face is just like pure happiness. I was like, wow, he's a little demented there. How about the movie Big Hero 6?
I liked it. Liked it pretty well, actually.
What's your opinion on the live action side of Disney?
What's that?
What's your opinion on the live action side of Disney?
Um, Regarding what? That's a broad question.
Oh, like the maybe like movie choices like Pirates of the Caribbean, or maybe revamping the classic animated features into live action.
I think all that's fine. I actually I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing. I liked what they did with Jungle Book. I'm actually pretty anxious to see what they're going to do with Lion King. And yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. It's interesting how they call it live action, and yet
Yeah, that.
live action means it's with actual people.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
And it's like,
the Lion King is not going to be unless they're using live action plates,
yeah.
which would be something different.
Which again would be a little interesting.
Yeah. So I'm just throwing in a couple little details here and there, having some fun.
Was working at Disney hard?
Yeah, it was hard, but it was really gratifying. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I loved it. I really loved it.
Do you like Disney's Star Wars?
Uh-huh. I do like Disney Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan anyway.
I cannot wait for the theme park of the Star Wars theme park coming out.
Yeah. Just want to soften up, open up some of these values a little bit more as a finishing touch.
Yeah, the theme park is supposed to be in 2020 as well, isn't it?
I don't know. That used to be our theme park.
Hmm?
That used to be our theme park when we worked there.
The
Star Wars theme park is going to be, yeah, it's where MGM was.
wait, they're replacing Hollywood Disney?
Yeah, with the Star Wars theme park. At least that's my understanding.
Really?
If someone else out there knows different than me, then let us know. But I think that's what they're doing. All right, I'm going to call this done. I'm going to get going.
I thought they were grabbing a whole new property off of that.
No. All right. All right. Don't like that last little stroke. There we go. We'll do something like that. So there's our flying monkey. That was kind of fun. Normally I do a little bit more detail in the bird wing there, but sorry about all the plumber disturbances and everything else. But anyway, and it turns out the building inspector came and I missed him. He was here and I missed him.
What?
I know. Hopefully it passed. I don't know. I got to build the rest of my bar. That's the most important thing. But I really enjoyed today, you guys. It was a little impromptu, a little bit looser than usual, but it was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be out for a little bit. I think, well, I'll be back though. So we'll be back next Thursday, not Wednesday. We'll be back on Thursday, and we'll be at it again. We'll do some more drawing and painting, probably some animation. And so until then, get out there and do some drawing and painting. Go check out my website, creatureartteacher.com. We'll be back on Tuesday on Facebook, on my Facebook page, so head on over there. And in the meantime, get out there and put some beauty back into the world. Do something nice for somebody, because we need to do more of that, and it will make the world a little bit better. And I think we can do that. So anyway, get out there and do something good. And I will talk to you guys next week. Dustin?
Cowboy